All right, man. Let's talk to our buddy Mick the Caddy, who joins us. He was a PGA caddy for many, many years, and we love having him on the show. And what better time to have him on as the Masters is going on in Augusta. Mick, it's good to have you back on, man. And first of all, we don't assume that everybody knows your history, so let's talk about that a little bit. Who did you caddy for, and how long did you do it on the PGA Tour?
15 years on the PGA Tour, boys. But it's good to talk to you both here at in sunny Australia at 5:30 in the morning.
Holy cow! How's your dad doing? Mick's dad's been dealing with some health issues. And that's why Mick is down under doing the family thing. Is he doing any better?
Yeah, he's getting there, mate. I should be home by the end of the month. I came here for a 2.5-week holiday, and I've been here 3.5 months now. So no, everything's coming along. He's heading in the right direction. But yeah, if there's one thing about watching the Masters in Australia, it's the time difference is kind of a little bit rough.
I can imagine. Yeah. Well, look, everybody's checking out what's going on, and let's talk about some of the things that you experienced, either leading into this event or just being a part of it, because there's so many stories, right? Mike and I were talking about, the Champions Dinner and how cool that is, and just, this year, obviously, it was Scotty Scheffler, but every year that's such a big, talking point. But some of the things that you experienced maybe leading into the Masters, because guys do different things to prepare for this tournament, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, some guys, it's like every major. Every major is different. I mean, so many people get really hyped up for it, and, the swing coaches are there and the psychologists are there and stuff like that. There's so much pressure. But the thing about the Masters is it's so different because, the day before with the par 3 competition, and if you watch everything that you saw yesterday with like kids running around in bunkers and everyone's got their kids out there, and it's just a little bit more relaxed that day before, and it's a totally different vibe compared to every other major, that's for sure.
The course itself. I mean, it just seems. I know you've been around some of the greatest courses in the world. Is the Masters the greatest? I mean, as far as the manicured and taken care of golf course on the planet.
There's no comparison. It's the greatest play. It's hard to explain. Like when you go down Magnolia Lane and it's the only Masters it's the only major I've never caddied in. But having been there 4 or 5 times. And knowing a lot of people there, it's just there's no place like it. It's just the aura of it when you go down Magnolia Lane, and when you're walking around, and you don't realise how hilly it is. TV doesn't do it any justice because it is one hilly golf course. It's a tough walk, but there's no place like it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and talking about that specifically, that's why you have to shape these shots, right? You have to have certain shots in your bag. Even if you're playing well, like there are certain guys who their game is built for this course, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. If you can shape the ball both ways, if you can hit a fade and a draw, and you're comfortable hitting the ball both ways, you're a huge advantage there. Now, there are certain guys who only like to hit fades and stuff like that. It doesn't really suit guys like that, like Victor Hovland for one, who I think is a phenomenal ball player, phenomenal ball striker. But the course doesn't really set up for him. He's had some good rounds there, but he's only broken 70 one time out of 18 times there, and it's just for some guys it doesn't sit that way for he's trying to shape the ball just one way. It's a tough golf course, but and it's getting longer and longer. They still make it longer every year. That's for certain. 7,500 yards now. That's a long golf course.
Yeah, we're watching Justin Rose right now. We said before you came on, Mick, who's been on fire. There's guys like Rory who have gone, years. It's 2014 since Rory won a major, 2012 since Rose won a major. It's kind of becomes like a story you get behind. Do you feel that Rory's playing the kind of golf now that he can put the 4 rounds together to get it done at Augusta?
It's all mental for him. It's the place. It just means so much to him to win, and I think he puts so much pressure on himself. Justin Rose, who I know very, very well, he's a good friend of mine. And his caddy, Fooch, who's a wonderful friend of mine. I know how much it means to Justin Rose to win the Masters. I also know how much of a bonus his caddy's going to get if he does win the Masters too. So, and these events mean so much to these guys. These guys would give up, just about everything else, every other event that they've ever won just to win the Masters. And I know how much it means to Rory. And it's just sometimes the pressure builds and builds and builds and builds as each year goes along. It gets harder and harder and harder for him. But I mean, no one swings it better than Rory. It's just, it's the execution on the day and, how mentally he, prepared he is.
Mick, give us a putting routine as you're preparing for a major. What are we talking about, and what is it for a professional to go out there? Because the events that I've had a chance to cover over the years, I was always amazed at how much time they spent just putting. And, we take it for granted when these guys hit anything 10 feet, 8, it doesn't matter, and they make it look easy. What's the putting routine like?
Well, everyone has their own different routines when it comes to it. Now, obviously, Augusta is completely different because those greens are so fast. They've got so many undulations. You've seen some of these downhill putts. I mean, it's the speed of these greens is ridiculous, how fast they are. But everybody has their own different routines. I mean, how they like to go, and but at the end of the day, you'll see so many guys. All they're doing is practicing 3 and 4 footers. At the end of the day, you'll see them work on long putts for a little while and try to get their feel for certain things. And obviously, Augusta's putting greens, practice greens are ridiculously good. But at the end of the day, you'll see them all just standing there and they're putting in circles, 3 and 4 footers, because, as you saw Rory in the US Open in the end, when he lost the US Open with that little 3-foot putt at the end, which was a very, very hard putt, by the way. But that's where the money is. I mean, the money is right in those 3 and 4 footers. And, if you can hold the nerve together down the stretch, that's how you're going to win it.
It's our man Mick the Caddy, all the way from down under, talking about the Masters. We love the live guys. I think DeChambeau has become rootable and likable, and we just never see him because the ratings prove it. Nobody's watching live golf. But you feel like John Rahm and Bryce, I mean, certainly Rahm, who really just seemed like he took it on the chin. All the criticism of jumping over to live, it messed him up. He has been winning, though, on that tour. You buying any of the live guys to make it happen this time?
Yeah, Bryson DeChambeau gets that driver working. I mean, obviously, as long as he is, and it certainly helped him in the US Open last year. I mean, if you can hit it as far as he does, I mean, all of a sudden, you're putting wedges in your hand instead of 6 irons, makes a huge difference. If he gets that driver right, because he can putt too. He's a very, very good putter. And he's got such a great mental approach to the game. He's so switched on. He's changed from years and years and years ago when no one really liked the guy, but now he's just a likable character.
Yeah. Who you liking right now before you get out of here? And by the way, check out the podcast, guys. It's called Tales from the Tip, Odyssey Golf Podcast with Dave Ashburn. Mick's a part of that as well. Who do you like, by the way? I mean, not looking at the leaderboard or seeing who's playing well today. I mean, who do you think is playing well enough to get this done?
Well, on that podcast, I said that Scotty Scheffler would win because I think I think he's above everybody else at the moment. But there was a couple of rough ones I put in there, and Harris English was one. I thought Harris was playing beautiful at the moment, and he had a pretty good round to start the day. But I still think it's going to be hard to beat Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, I'm with you. What's going on? It's Scotty Scheffler. Hey, man, Mick, we appreciate you, man. The best to your family, and thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you when you get back, brother. Thank you again.
Yeah, appreciate you, boys, and I'll be back soon.
All right,
thanks, guys.